in today's video, I'm going to be showing you this makeup look. This makeup look just features my favorite products, my ride or dies, products that I've been using for the past year that I haven't switched out because frankly, I haven't found a need to switch them out. They work time and time again. They will just never fail you. With all that being said, let's get into today's video. This look is pretty bronzy, it's pretty dewy. Those are all the things that I look for when I have a makeup routine. So the primer that I'm going to be using today, I typically prime. I would say that I don't do it every single time I do my makeup, especially now that I'm just at home. But for the sake of this video and to shout out this primer by The Ordinary, I figured I would do it. So this is just a silicone primer and I do about that much. I don't have super oily skin, but I do go ahead and put it in my T-zone just because, I don't know, I feel like it just helps everything stick a little bit better. And it also creates a barrier between your skincare and your makeup. This primer is just like a grip primer, nothing to control oil or mattify or anything like that. It's just a good old like, let's get a barrier going and let's get something that the makeup can stick to. So on the note of primer, I don't prime my eyes every day, but I do have oily eyelids. My skin isn't super oily, but my eyelids are. So this is just the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. It works pretty well. It doesn't really have a color to it, which I like, because I definitely don't want to have like a pink tint or any kind of tint to my eyelids. My eyelids already are like a little bit darker than the rest of my skin, which is really nice because it makes it easier to not have to apply like any eyeshadow if I don't want to. So that's pretty much that. I do my priming and get it out of the way. Next thing that I do when I'm trying to just do something simple and kind of quick is my eyebrows, and this is the Precisely My Brow Pencil. Now for this, I definitely need a mirror that's a little bit closer just so I can see what I'm doing. But I just brush my brow hairs up. I have pretty decent eyebrows. I mean, they're not super thick, they're not really sparse. This is definitely my better brow always, so whenever I take a photo, I always take it from this side. But yeah, this is in the shade 3.5. I just do like hair-like strokes until my eyebrow is pretty full. I mean, I don't want it to look too drawn on by any means, so I just kind of do a few strokes here, a few strokes there. Eyebrows are done. I mean, they're not perfect. I haven't gotten my eyebrows done in I can't even tell you how long, but I also want to stress I haven't been wearing makeup every day in quarantine by any means. This is just like what I do sometimes if I want to feel a little bit better when I go out or when I'm sitting at home. So yeah, it's a pretty easy routine. I mean, I don't really have more than like 10 products here, but sometimes even doing these like few steps can seem like the biggest deal. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in with concealer. I have a little bit of scarring. This is the NARS Creamy Concealer, and I just pretty much put it under my eyes because I feel like that's where I need it the most. And then just like in my T-zone, like here, and then wherever I have, like again, that scar, that redness. I don't want it to look too noticeable that I have a ton of makeup on. I'm not really a foundation person. I don't love putting on like thick heavy makeup, and this concealer conceals a lot, but it's pretty light. And then I'll just usually blend it out with a sponge just because I feel like it's a little bit more seamless, and it's a pretty light layer of makeup. It is just concealer. This concealer just wears really nicely throughout the day. I never really find that it creases up on me, and if I really want to make sure that it doesn't crease, I'll just put like the lightest amount of powder. But my biggest thing is just to not have super dark under eyes. You know, I'm not really getting the best sleep in quarantine just because, I don't know, I feel a bit anxious about all that's going on in the world, and can't complain too much because I am very lucky that I am at home with my family now and I feel very safe, and all of my family is taking all of the precautions necessary. You can definitely see some scarring still here and some discoloration, but I mean, for the most part, the things that I want concealed are concealed, and as long as that happens, this is a good base for me. This is where the bronzy part of this makeup tutorial comes in. This is the Milk Makeup matte bronzer. It's just a little matte bronzing stick, and this is in the shade Baked. I love bronzer. I think it adds such like a nice warmth to my face, and this stick just makes it literally so easy. So what I'll do instead of putting the stick directly on my face is just take a little bit on the back of my hand, partially to warm up the product and then also just to make it easier, So I'll take about that much. I know it looks pretty dark, but I also apply it with a sponge, which makes the process so incredibly easy. So I'll take the more pointed end of the sponge and just kind of apply it like that. That looks like a lot, I know, but then I take the other end and just kind of blend it out. And then it just kind of gives a little bit of warmth. And then I'll go kind of a little bit, as I just did, across the bridge of my nose to just kind of make it look like you have that tan, that you've been sitting outside despite being inside for pretty much most of the past 3 months. It's all about the deception and just making it look really warm. And that's just the kind of makeup that I like. I like very like warm tone, like I just was on vacation, dewy. I don't like anything too matte or too kind of just dull. I really want it to look like there's life to my skin, which is why I let like my beauty marks and my own discoloration peek through, because naturally, if I had no makeup on, everybody would be able to see that anyways. So this is the Cloud Paint in the shade Beam. This is probably the aspect of my makeup that I get the most compliments on. It's just really natural and makes you look super just like flushed from within. And I think it complements my skin tone, though I was really worried when I bought it that it was not going to. I was like, this is very coral and I don't think that's gonna go well with my skin, but surprisingly it does. So I put about that much on the back of my hand, and I'll actually go in with my fingers first and just kind of tap right in the center of my cheek. And you can see how with the bronzer, it just really makes it look like I've been out in the sun and my skin is super, super healthy. So I just wrapped up kind of my last finishing touches on my blush. And then when I finish going in with my fingers, I'll just use the sponge to kind of blend everything in just one last time. This is pretty much just like, again, my skin but better. I look like I tried a little bit, but not that I, spent hours and hours doing my makeup, because if I was in a rush for school, this makeup look would take me no longer than 15 minutes tops. The final touch really for makeup to kind of just make me look a little bit more alive, the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Champagne Pop. And I use this tapered brush. I don't even know where I got this brush from. It's the only brush that I use in this entire makeup look. And I like it because it gets just right into my inner corner, which is exactly what this product does. So I take about that much on a brush, and then I just put it on my tear duct right there. And then you can see like the difference between this eye and then that one, like it's insane. It makes to me the biggest difference. And this is just the most simple pop. It's a gold undertone, which I think works really well with my skin, and also the fact that I always have some form of gold on, even if it's just my earrings, even if I don't have any necklaces or any rings on. I think it just kind of ties it all in together pretty well. Pretty much like the last step that I'll do right before I go in with mascara. Now, for mascara, I am not too picky about what mascara I use. The mascara that I've been using, I would say in the past like 6 months or so, is the NARS Climax mascara. I love this mascara. I love the wand on this one just because I think it's a really interesting shape that gets into your lashes without clumping them, and it's just, this formula is it, and I will definitely be buying this one again. But again, I have to get up close for this, so I'm just going to take a little compact mirror and just put on a few coats. I don't typically dip back in just because that's when I feel like things can get clumpy and start to look a bit unnatural. And I do not do bottom mascara. I know a lot of people do, but for me, when I do it, it immediately just clings to my under eye, and it's just a horror show, if I'm honest. And you can see how it still looks super natural and not clumpy. I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me. Thank you for supporting me and supporting this channel that I'm starting in such a crazy and unprecedented time. As always, please stay safe and stay well, and I will see you in the next one.